Quick announcement. I recently came across another creator who makes beautiful 3D printed deck boxes. I am not sponsored, I'm not getting a kickback or anything. I got his permission to post a link to his Etsy store down below. Feel free to go check him out. After the video, of course. Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video came about because of comments I often get on my videos. Whenever I make a budget list, something $100 or less, I get asked to make a more expensive version of the deck. The same is also true with higher cost deck lists. So today we're going to build a $100 budget deck of the Locust God and have upgrade paths. Eventually, we'll wind up with a deck list that's closer to $1,000. Also, and I know it's annoying to keep hearing this, but statistically if I don't ask you to like and subscribe, the video gets fewer subscribers. The Locust God is a 4-mana 4/4 legendary god with flying. Whenever we draw a card, we create a 1/1 blue and red insect creature token with flying and haste. We may pay 4 mana. If we do, we draw a card and then discard a card. Finally, whenever the Locust God dies, we return it to our hand at the beginning of the next end step. The Locust God is one of my favorite commanders. I picked up a variety of tokens for him, mostly because of intimidation factors. It's far scarier to an opponent when you have a literal army of 1/1 flying hasty insects facing off against them, rather than just a couple of dice. Remember, mind games are perfectly legal in Magic. Anyway, after Ultimate Guard was kind enough to send me some of their 133 card Return to Earth boulders, I was finally able to fit my deck and all my tokens into a single box. Now, you don't necessarily need wheels to win with this deck, but they are nice to have. We will also be discarding a lot of cards, so having payoffs for both drawing and discarding cards would be advantageous. Some creature support should also be included. In fact, in order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Oh, one more quick announcement before we get started. I'm going to be streaming on Musings by Danon as well as Twitch. It'll mostly be Final Fantasy XIV, but you're more than welcome to pop in and talk about Commander. Honestly, about half my streams are talking about manga, anime, or Commander. Our budget land base consists of Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Sulphur Falls, Volatile Fjord, Molten Tributary, Ferris Lake, Cascade Bluffs, Shivan Reef, Frostboil Snarl, Temple of Epiphany, Silver Bluff Bridge, Is It Guildgate, Is It Boilerworks, Prismari Campus, Swiftwater Cliffs, Highland Lake, Scavenger Grounds, 9 Islands, and 8 Mountains. If you're wanting to upgrade your mana base, I recommend cutting Temple of Epiphany, for Scalding Tarn, Silver Bluff Bridge, for Polluted Delta, Is It Guildgate, for Bloodstained Mire, Prismari Campus, for Steam Vents, Swiftwater Cliffs, for Training Center, Highland Lake, for Stormcarved Coast, 1 Island, for Thundering Falls, and 1 Mountain for Riverglide Pathway. Of course, these changes alone take the deck from under $100 to over $300. Our budget mana ramp consists of Ashnod's Altar, Goblin Electromancer, Stormcatch Mentor, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Creativity, Is It Signet, Felwar Stone, Sky Diamond, Fire Diamond, Thrawn Dynamo, Solemn Simulacrum, Mind Stone, Thought Vessel, Decanter of Endless Water, and Sorcerer class. If you're looking for upgrades and budget isn't a concern, I recommend cutting Sky Diamond, for Dockside Extortionist, Replace Fire Diamond with Mana Crypt, and Felwar Stone with Jeweled Lotus. For card advantage, we're running Brain Surge, Skull Clamp, Tolarian Winds, Whirlpool Warrior, Teferi's Ageless Insight, Windfall, Magus of the Wheel, Curiosity Crafter, Whirlpool Rider, Forgotten Creation, Riel the Everwise, Arjun the Shifting Flame, Archmage Emeritus, Windreader Sphinx, Brainstorm, Transcendent Message, Pull from Tomorrow, Mystical Tutor, Decaying Time Loop, Thirst for Discovery, Step Between Worlds, Time Reversal, and Flux. Of course, all these are our budget options. If you want to go hard, I recommend swapping Thirst for Discovery with Jeska's Will, Windreader Sphinx for Teferi's Puzzle Box, Brain Surge for Seagate Restoration, Magus of the Wheel for Echo of Eons, Flux with Fairy Mastermind, Step Between Worlds with Consecrated Sphinx, Whirlpool Rider for Rhystic Study, and Brainstorm for Jace's Archivist. Yes, I know they're expensive and powerful, that's why they weren't in the budget version. Our interaction package consists of Counterspell, Negate, Abrade, Chaos Warp, Commit Memory, Fateful Showdown, An Offer You Can't Refuse, Pongify, Reality Shift, Prismari Command, and Narset's Reversal. If you're looking for upgrades, I recommend cutting Reality Shift for Fierce Guardianship and Prismari Command for Deflecting SWAT. To reset the board, we've got Blasphemous Act and Magma Quake. For upgrades, we can cut Magma Quake and replace it with Cyclonic Rift. The core of our deck consists of Sage of the Falls, Niv-Mizzet Perun, Talran Sky Summoner, Alondra Sky Dreamer, Ovika Enigma Goliath, Witty Roastmaster, Molten Gatekeeper, Impact Tremors, Psychosis Crawler, Glinthorn Buccaneer, Shared Animosity, Cavalcade of Calamity, and Devilish Valet. Finally, if you're wanting an upgrade, I recommend cutting Glinthorn Buccaneer for Perforos God of the Forge. Now that we have both of our deck lists, let's compare them to our checklist. Remember, we swapped card advantage for card advantage, lands for lands, and ramp for ramp, so both decks mostly have the same ratio of cards. 50 mana sources split between 34 lands and 16 pieces of ramp, though we do have one MDFC in our non-budget list. 23 pieces of card advantage, 11 pieces of interaction, 2 board wipes, 4 pieces of Graveyard Hate in Scavenger Grounds, Time Flux, Step Between Worlds, and Commit Memory, but we also have Echo of Eons in our non-budget list. 1 Sudden I Win card in Shared Animosity. Shared Animosity goes hard in this deck. We attack with 5 insects and they're now all 5 ones. If we attack with 10 insects, they're all now 10 ones. Of course, it doesn't take much with this deck to turn Devilish Valet into a lethal threat either. I love this deck. I love how the whole point is just drawing cards and killing my opponents with a bunch of little creatures. A swarm of locusts to overwhelm them. You don't need expensive wheels to make this deck function, which is great, but any deck will perform better if you have better cards in it. Of course, better cards tend to be more expensive. I hope this video helped you out. I'm a big fan of spending as little money as possible to try out a new deck. If it's an archetype you've never played before, try to save some money when building it. If it turns out you don't like the deck, well, you've got some cards that you can trade around or staples you can put in other decks. But if you really enjoy the deck, you've got a base to work with and can start upgrading it. Do you have a deck led by the Locust God? What's your secret deck tech? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Sean, Mark, Borgie, Nazwin, Midge, Alex, Conga, Aaron, Chris, Robert, Austin, William Pye, Turner, Triz, Kazaris, Slack, Dan, Booksu, and Patrick. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.